What's up everybody, Delumiaa here. Time for a tier list for Season 3 of The War Within. Right now it's way too early to say what's gonna be meta and not, so everything here is just based on what's performing good on PTR and not. So let's dive right into the tier list, right? Let's begin with the tanks. Protection Warrior right now performing really good. Crazy good self-sustain, really good damage. Brings a good buff for the group as well. Just a crazy overall good tank at the moment. Bloody K, can't say that I think they are performing good in any way. They have really low damage at the moment, and the survivability is not really there either. So yeah, they could be better. Could be absolutely better. And then we have Protection Paladin. They're actually performing okay. Yeah, they're performing okay. And they have really good damage, and as long as you have cooldowns, you have really good self-sustain. But as soon as you run out of cooldowns, you are very reliant on your healer, and that can be very heavy on the group. Bear to do. Guardian Druid. I actually have to say that I think they are performing kind of the same as Protection Paladin. Like, no, not really. Because Proc Paladin have better DPS and healing at the moment, I would say. And Bear Druid have, for some reason, they really just don't have the damage anymore, and compared to the other tanks. And also the self-sustain has been going down a little bit, it feels like. VDH, they are still performing crazy good. A little bit lower damage than the other, like than Proc Warrior, but the self-sustain is crazy. The group buff is really good. Utility wise, it's insane with your grip and your silence, AoE kick. It's just really good overall. Nothing has really changed for VDH in that way. Brewmaster Monk have actually started to perform really good as well. They have crazy good damage on the PTR. They have really good healing as well. It's not compared to the VDH or the Warrior, but it's way better than what it is on live at the moment, and I have a feeling we might see nerfs to the damage on Brewmaster, but I'm not sure. If we don't, they might actually be a good option for like a physical comp or a melee cleave comp or something like that this season. Holy Paladin, I think they are performing okay. The damage wise, it's really good. Healing it's okay as well. They are having a harder time. You need to plan with your group way more than other healers. So in that way, it's a more difficult healer to play than the other ones, because you're very reliant on your group using defensives in a correct way, and also planning your healing very much. Resto Shaman is performing really good as still. Totemic is doing crazy good healing. And if it turns out to be a melee comp or physical comp, I do actually see Shaman being a really good healer. Holy Priest, I do think that they are not going to be seen too much in Mythic Plus. They don't really have the healing output that's needed all the time, and you are draining on mana very fast as well. And Disc Priest is still performing really good. I think they are having some mana issues. Depending on the healer, of course. If you're a good Disc Priest, then you don't really have that much of an issue. But some healers I've seen are struggling with mana so far. And other than that, they're still crazy good shielding, and yeah, it's a good utility kit. Resto Druid is performing crazy good at the moment. The HPS is through the roof on PTR, and they are looking crazy good. I love the healing from Resto Druid right now that I've seen. It's insanely solid, and they also do decent amount of damage right now, if you know how to do that, the wave in and out of cat form and back and forth like that. It's a demanding healer in that way. It's a lot more planning on your hots and all of that to keep your healing rolling, but once you get that down, it's a crazy good healer. Press Evoker is actually not too bad either. I do think that they are actually slightly better on the HPS than Holy Paladin at the moment, to be honest. Also doing really good DPS, so that's really nice to see that they have been getting to a point where they're actually playable. It's just still the range that's gonna be a main issue, I think. But if we're playing a melee comp or a physical comp in any way, then they might actually have a chance this season. Frost DK is crazy. The new rework is doing them really, really good. They're looking crazy good in the PTR. I haven't tried them too much myself, but the ones I've seen are performing crazy good. And everybody who plays a DK seems to be pretty happy with the Frost changes, actually. So that's nice to see. Lovely seeing them actually shining for a little while. Unholy DK, which was, they have been shining all the season. They have been crazy. They are right now not doing that good. They got nerfed to the ground pretty much, which is kind of sad to see. But maybe if they save, they might save it with some buffs. You never know. They have been doing crazier things. Things have been changing a lot more than what we might be prepared for. Havoc Demon Hunter. They have crazy good damage at the moment. They have good survivability. Pretty good CC as well. They do bring a buff to the group. So the magic buff is really good from DH for the group if you're playing with casters and so on. Very nice at the moment, I would say. Boomy, right now, they're doing crazy damage. I think that they fixed the never-ending damage that they had last week on PTR, but they're still doing really, really good. Also, you have your beam. Like Root Beam is really good, or Vortex Beam, and if you're playing with a VDH, it's really good to grip into beam and all of that. It's a really good DPS class for AoE, and now they have some funnel as well. Not as much as others, but yeah, it's better. Feral Druid. Oh dang, I haven't seen too many Feral Druids, but I heard someone playing it, and they seem to still be performing good. I think the only problem with Feral right now is that they're getting pretty much overshined with, if you're playing with a Resto Druid, you don't really need a double Druid comp, or if you have a balanced Druid. I think that's where Feral is getting somewhat left behind in that matter. Dev Evoker, they are actually not performing too good at the moment. They don't do too much damage anymore compared to others. They don't bring too many things. There's some good debuffs for bleeds and so on if you don't have any other, but survivability, they are super squishy, difficult to handle in that way in Mythic Plus. Og Evoker is a big no-no for me still, but yeah, some people still play it, but I think they're doing really bad at the moment, to be honest. They don't bring too much to the group. A good Og Evoker can still bring a lot of utility and buff, but not in the same way as they used to, not even close to it. So I would say they're pretty bad at the moment, actually, down really low. And then we have BM Hunter. They are maniac good at the moment. Holy cow, they are pumping damage. Solid single target. They have really good AoE as well right now. They just pump it right now. And you have a good utility kit with Hunter as well, with all the traps and stuns and silence and so on. Also, you do have Bloodlust if you want to. Same thing with Marksman. The damage is just through the roof at the moment. I don't know if they are gonna see a big nerf soon or what, because it's just insane looking at the Hunter at the moment. Hunter is insanely good. Same thing with Survival, actually. Survival is performing really, really good at the moment compared to what they used to be. And bring the same thing like the other Hunter specs kind of, and it's just insane to see all Hunter specs doing this good at the moment. I don't think we've seen that in a long time. Arcane Mage still have crazy funnel damage, insane burst, even better AoE than before. They're just getting buffed and buffed and buffed, and I don't know how many more buffs they can actually get. It's insane to see how many buffs they have been getting lately. I have seen some mages do some maniac numbers, to be honest, on PTR, and then PTR numbers is what numbers is, but performance wise, their survivability, bloodlust, yeah, you have it all on our Arcane Mage. Fire Mage is performing good as well. Not as good as Arcane, of course, but it's still good. I would say. And then we have Frost Mage. They are also, I actually do think the list is not in any special order. It's just how good they are performing at the moment. So take that in mind. But Frostbench is also doing really good. They also bring a good utility kit, good buff, and bloodlust, good survivability. Like Mage is really good at the moment, and all three of them, just like it was at a time in season 2 as well, where all three specs were doing really good, and then Arcane just went through the roof. But now I think Frost and Fire are catching back up again. Mistweaver Monk are doing... They're doing good, actually. I think they're doing good. I think that they're doing better than the Holy Pally, I would say. Both with damage and also how difficult it is to play it. Like, it's not at all as difficult and as much planning as a Holy Paladin, I would say. But that's my opinion. Then we have Windwalker Monk. And Windwalker, I think they're doing good damage. They have good damage, and the problem now is that Brewmaster is doing really good as well. So, and they did get a nerf today, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that Brewmaster is just outshining them, and playing double Monk is not going to be as good of an option. And same with like Frost DK is doing better, BM Hunter as well. So yeah, I think that's a difficult thing to fit into a group at the moment. Maybe you can, yeah, you still can, but it's not going to be as easy. Red Paladin, I actually think are doing pretty bad. They're doing okay damage. They're kind of squishy for some reason, and they don't really bring too much to the table. So I think they're doing they are in dire need of some changes, actually, to buff some damage and some survivability to make them more viable again. The rework on Shadow Priest has been insane. They're doing maniac funnel damage. The single target damage is so good right now. It's actually insane to see how well they are performing, from doing pretty bad in season 2 to just being super dominating right now, and that's kind of nice to see. Shadow Priest is a fun spec, I think, and yeah, I'm looking at them myself, actually. As a rogue at the moment, I think they're doing really good as well, if you know how to play them. That's the thing. Rogue is a very high skill ceiling class to play, and it takes a lot of knowledge to know how to use them in the right way, and not everybody knows how to do that. And the same thing with Outlaw Rogue. They're also doing they're doing really good damage, I would say, and it's the same thing here for all the rogue specs, actually. Assassination and Outlaw I know are doing really good if you know how to play them. Sub, I don't know, actually. I need to see more of them. I have not seen too many of them. I think I've seen one sub rogue, and it was not performing that good. Good burst damage, but then it falls off again, like Sub has been for a while. And that's kind of sad, because Sub is a really fun spec to play, I think. But as a rogue and Outlaw, I think are doing crazy good still, if you know how to use them. Ellie Shaman, I think, are doing good damage as well. They're super viable in every way. And the same thing for Enhancement Shaman right now. They're doing so good. The new tier set is completely bonkers. They smack everything Ascendance all the time. And you bring a good buff. Bloodlust. The only thing with Shaman still is that they are kind of squishy, but in a comp, if you play with like a Resto Druid, I don't see any major issues with that, because the HPS is so good on Resto Druid right now, so you should be fine. And then we have Affliction Warlock. I think Affliction needs some buffs, because I think it takes too long to spread everything, and also you are having too much management with spreading your dots at the moment, I think, in a good way, and keeping it up. And the damage is not as nearly as bursty as any of the others up here. So I think I need to play it a little bit more myself to figure out what might be the real issue. I'm not 100% sure, but when I tried it, I didn't really feel the damage was all the way... Yeah, something was missing when I was playing it. I can't tell exactly what it was yet, but something. Demo Lock are doing good. I personally don't really like Demo Lock in that way. I see them do crazy good damage, actually. I just have an issue with, like, the pets are doing all the damage for you, and that feels kind kind of sad. I would like to see some kind of change for demo in that way, where pets are important but not everything that you have. Destruction Warlock is also doing good. They have good AoE. Can be difficult sometimes if you are doing single target and have to move too much or whatever, but overall I think they're doing good. They're doing good, absolutely. Have a good utility kit as well with AoE stun and portals and gates and all of that, so I do think that Destrulock is going to do okay, I think. Arms and Fury Warrior, I think that the main issue is that Prot Warrior is performing so freaking good right now. It might be difficult to fit 2 warriors into one comp, right? They bring the same buff. Fury Warrior have pretty good AoE damage, but they're very, very, very RNG based and also cooldown reliant. Same thing with Arms Warrior in that way, like your AoE sweeping strikes are very dependent on it, and I don't see them being in the top at all at the moment because of Prot Warrior being that good, I think. But that, guys, would be my initial tier list for Season 3. We got changes today where we got buffs to Brewmaster, for example, bringing 8% more physical damage from the buff, and a couple of other changes, and I need to try them out now to figure out how things are looking right now. But I'm going to keep the tier list up to date. I'm going to update it as soon as I see something changing. And then we keep it up like this to follow what's going to be meta and what's going to be good and what's going to be really bad, pretty much. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to catch me live on YouTube and also on Twitch at Delumiaa. And also over at Kick at Delumiaa Official. Until next time, everybody, take care. Peace.